desire. I hold the power, I hold your soul within my hands. You're a part in my grand design. I think you're free, but soon you'll see I'm the puppet master you'll never find. So don't even try, 'cause freedom's alive. Your strings are for me. I am the wisdom. The vision ends with me. I see the future turn to green. I make the choices, I'm calling the shots. You give me everything you've got. So don't even try, 'cause freedom's alive. Your strings are for me.
All right. Let me know if the sound is good, guys. If the volume's too high on the music. About to get started here soon. All right, welcome guys to me, Damien channel. I am Damien, and today's live stream we'll be talking about Bitcoin not having such a good day. Actually down 2%. I remember somebody yesterday was saying that Bitcoin's crashing or something to that nature, and yesterday it was only down like 0.8%, but this is looking like it could be the beginning of a significant move here, with Bitcoin down 2% already today. Trading at $113,000. I'm looking at the daily time frame for Bitcoin. We did say that, or at least I said that Bitcoin was doing a bullish consolidation and things were looking fine as long as we didn't lose this level here, the $114,500 level, which is a Fibonacci level that I've been eyeballing at. It's a level that we kind of tested out here on last Friday, but looks like this Friday is the Friday that we decided to take a little nasty dump here on Bitcoin. We're actually now, we pushed right past this 0.618 Fibonacci level here at 113,700. I saw that right before I started the stream here, but now we're clearly getting some follow through here, pushing this thing down. And then I believe this has a lot to do with the jobs report not looking so great, okay, which you would think it would actually lead to, you know, the markets celebrating because the Federal Reserve could possibly lower interest rates in September with a bad jobs report or a not so good jobs report. But what also is not helping out the markets is Donald Trump's tariffs are actually going into effect here. The Trump administration's tariffs on various countries are actually in effect, you know, with today being August 1st. And looks like the market is just not liking that, you know, for whatever reason. Guys, can I get a sound check? How do I sound right now? I know we had some sound issues earlier this week on my TikTok live stream. I just want to make sure everything's good here. I believe we are good here. And I'm glad to see you guys make it out to this live stream here. But yeah, we're taking a dump here on Bitcoin. I'm just going to quickly check my own sound here. Yeah, I can hear myself. All right, good. And I see some people with some positive comments here saying, buy the fear. Warren Buffett loading up on Bitcoin. I'm not sure about that. Guys, I'm doing a TikTok live stream, and I'm also doing a YouTube live stream. And I have some people here. I actually have a couple of other YouTubers here in the live stream. I'm wondering if I should do out the shout outs right now. I'll shout out the two people that are here right now, and then I'll go ahead and try to get some other guys that I know that are also good at streaming here and are building up their following as well. But yeah, we're looking at this nasty red candle here on Bitcoin. Just to summarize things up a little bit, I still think Bitcoin might actually head down to the 50-day moving average right here at $107,388. Now, this thing is climbing up day by day, so by the time we actually, you know, if we do come down to the 50-day moving average, it might be a couple of days from now, and this thing might actually start ticking itself up to higher prices, where we might see the 50-day moving average actually have confluence with this 0.382 level at 107,793. I think this is the level that we're looking for. So if you're trying to buy the fair, buy the dip, if you think this is a buying opportunity, then I think 107,700 is a level that you should be eyeballing. Now, we could, you know, possibly front run that and actually get a bounce at this 0.5 retracement at $110,750 Bitcoin. But these are the next two Fibonacci levels to look at based off of this Fibonacci analysis that I had, measuring from the top here at $123,000 Bitcoin to the bottom here at $98,000 Bitcoin, which is what I think we saw Bitcoin at on June 22nd. Yeah, June 22nd we got down. That was right after, the United States dropped bombs on Iran for the first time ever. That caused a little dump in the markets, only for us to get a bullish engulfing candle. Would be nice to see a bullish engulfing candle actually show up here and get rid of this nasty price action. But yeah, we are not breaking out to the upside out of this bull flag. What I would want to be careful with on this bull flag, you know, don't get too excited, guys. This could end up being a fake out where we immediately come right back up on, who knows, whatever good news that might come out. Maybe we get a trade deal with India that's better than what it is right now. Maybe Russia actually decides to stop attacking Ukraine. Who knows? I have no idea what geopolitical event, or maybe right now we have the U.S. court system saying that Trump's tariffs are unconstitutional. Maybe that actually happens and the tariffs just disappear on us, and we could get a little fake out that puts us right back in this bull flag, and then we start heading out to higher prices. So, you know, we're having a bad day right now. I'm trying to draw this out with an arrow here, but we're having a bad day here in the markets, but that's just one day, right? We don't know what's going to happen next, but just be on the lookout that, yeah, okay, we could have a fake out here, get right back into the bull flag, and then be off to the races here. This could be just a buying opportunity. But if it's not a buying opportunity, and this is actually the real bearish shakeout that we're going to drop down to lower prices, then I still think 107,700 is the level you're looking for, which is a level that we were trading at for the most part back in May and June earlier this year. We were trading sideways at that level for a while. It was also relatively like the all-time high that we had back in December of last year. So this is a level that I think should hold, you know, as a significant support zone. I think this is your buy zone, $108,000. Anywhere between 108 and 110. If you can get Bitcoin at those levels there, I think you're doing quite all right. My buddy here, Mario, is asking, am I dressed red again? I'm actually wearing white today. You could say maybe, you know, if I don't know, you can see it right now, but yeah, I'm wearing a white shirt right now, and maybe you could say that's me waving the white flag, because like this has been a tough week to trade for both longs and shorts. Shorts are finally getting paid right now, but the longs are taking it on the chin, especially right now. Yeah, even if you were shorting the market, it was, I mean, unless you were in light leverage and had a very loose stop loss, it was kind of almost hard to stay in the short trade, because we did have, you know, if I go into the 1 hour time frame here, we did have some moves to the upside where we were basically taking out some of those shorts, only for us to then make a lower high on the 1 hour time frame here. Okay, so it was kind of hard to stay short. Like if you were, you know, interested in shorting, like right here, okay, let's use this as an example. Last Friday, right, or about a couple of, actually maybe it was like 2 Fridays ago, and you thought you were going to get this dump. Well, you kind of traded sideways after that, okay? Then you came back up, and you would have got, you know, if you had your stop loss tight, you would have got stopped out right over here if you had your stop loss tight, okay? Okay, and then even then, if you didn't have tight, but if you had like the stop loss like kind of like right over here, okay, we still came, you know, and tested the shorts here, and you might have got stopped out if you didn't have your stop loss loose on a short, which I don't think many people did. But if you had your stop loss at 123K, obviously you didn't get stopped out. Okay, but if you were keeping your stop loss tight on your short, we came up a couple of times here, but we created lower highs here, and that's what I was concerned about yesterday, was us creating lower highs here on the 1 hour time frame for Bitcoin. But now we're getting a little dumperoo, so the shorts are getting paid. Whoever's shorted yesterday or earlier this morning is now finally getting paid to the downside here, and the downside could be a little bit rough and brutal, because like I said, I think on the daily time frame here, as I zoom in here, we're probably gonna see us, if this is for real, we're probably gonna see 110K first, and then we might see 107, 108K after that. Okay, but yeah, guys, I want to actually get into some shoutouts here. I see my buddy Porky. He always gives me the best shoutouts. I'm gonna try to maybe do half as good as he does on the shoutout here. But I do have Porky in the chat. Good to see him. And this is another YouTuber, and he's also on TikTok. He's trying to become more active on TikTok. He has about 1,500 subscribers, and he's always sending guys my way, and I'm trying to send people over his way as well. But he does a lot of crypto, and he talks about stocks as well. But it seems like his audience loves talking about crypto, so he's always talking about it. You can see he did a video here about Near Protocol, Pudgy Penguins, Solana, okay, AGLD. He likes to talk about the jobs data. He just recently did a video here. Let's try to get some views on that as well. And great guy to talk about. He's also on TikTok. Let me see if I can pull up TikTok right here. Okay, there's me, obviously, you know, with my Meet Damien channel here. Okay, yeah, if I could pull up Porky real quick, let me just pull up Porky. He goes by Porky Flounder 65 Trades. Okay, he has 2 accounts. One is kind of like a personal account, and the other one is the account that he talks about with trades. And we got to get him some more followers here. So if you guys want to check out Porky on TikTok, I know I got a pretty good following here, so maybe you guys can help him out. He does crypto TA, technical analysis. Pretty funny guy, actually. And he's out in the West Coast, family man. Let's give him some more views here, okay? And try to give him a subscribe as well. And recently I had another guy here that recently showed up. That I actually met today and checked out his video. He does stocks, but he also does crypto as well, and that's BC Port Corp. Okay, go ahead and give this guy a look at his TA and his views. Still getting to know him better, but yeah, he went live earlier. So if you missed one of my live streams, but you still have a thirst for knowledge on Wall Street and stock market and crypto, then I would definitely check out BC Port Corp here. Okay, so those are 2 shout outs I want to give. I will give a couple more shout outs. I do want to talk about my boy Joe, Trade Intuition, and Road Dog, but I'm going to save that for a little bit later. Let's get back into this because I know I got some people here making some requests, and I'm trying my best to do it all here. Okay, I'm doing YouTube and I'm doing TikTok, I'm doing shout outs, I'm doing requests for coins here. And let's see what we have here in the comments. I got to just catch up on the comments here for my TikTok guys. Okay, I do see CC has joined. Good to see you, CC. All right, let's see. Mar, I've seen Mar in the live streams constantly. Good to see you in here as well. Mar thinks Bitcoin's going to go to 111K. We'll see. We'll see. I think it might be, you might be right. Might be 110.7, but 111 is right, you know, right. I understand that. It's right next to that Fibonacci level that I'm looking at. Let's see. XA is saying Buffett is interested. You're saying Warren Buffett is interested in buying out MicroStrategy? That would be a complete flip. I don't know if that's actually true or not. I remember he used to call it Bitcoin rat poison. Are you sure that's Warren Buffett or somebody that works for Warren Buffett? Because I don't know if Warren Buffett even gives a damn about Bitcoin and crypto. But that'd be interesting. Maybe his company is trying to buy it, but I'm not sure if he has changed his personal opinion about it. And then you say load up on alts now, golden bull run. People are paperheading a generational entry. Okay, bullish divergence on the weekly. Bullish divergence on the weekly for what asset? I'm curious. In my job interview outfit. No, I'm just gonna be going out for dinner after this live stream, so that's why I'm dressed up right now. And my white shirt here. Looks like we have requests for ZBEC, Litecoin, and XRP. All right, let me go ahead and write those down. I usually try to limit 2 requests per viewer because there are other people that want to look at their other assets here. But since this is early in the stream and I haven't really had any requests from anybody else, I can actually do 3 requests for you. Sure, why not? And then, yeah, I like to save XRP for towards the middle to end of the live stream because it always ends up being somebody that shows up towards the end of my live stream saying, "Hey, Damien, can you look at XRP?" And it's like, we looked at it like an hour ago. But, yeah, we'll look at XRP at some point. Yep. So I think I went through the comments here on TikTok. Let's see what my guys here on YouTube are saying. Porky saying, "We ready for this." Woo! Okay. And Porky saying, "Moon the likes." Yeah, guys, don't forget to hit that like button. And for my TikTok guys, don't forget to double tap your screen. That's how you send a link out. That helps me out. Helps get more people into the live stream here as well. And let's see. What is Porky saying here about soccer moms? I think Porky's in the mood for a soccer mom. That's interesting. Don't tell his wife though. Let's see. Someone here saying my soccer mom is at the zoo with her son. Okay, all right. So BC, BC, are you married as well? I'm curious. Are you you have a what? You sounds like you have a wife and kid. What is this? Porky saying that there's a nuclear submarine that has been moved close to Russia. That's interesting. Did you hear that in the news, I guess? Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so I'm just having to catch up with the comments here. It's going to be a little bit too much for me, to be honest, but Ben Frank Getter says, long Bitcoin now. Take profit target at 121K. That would be nice, okay? Where would you put your stop loss? If you were to do something like that, I'm just curious, where would you put your stop loss so you don't end up losing too much money? And how much leverage would you put on it if you're day trading this asset? Are you talking about a swing trade or a day trade? You have a take profit target that's not too far off from where we are. It's only, you know, about maybe like a 10% move on Bitcoin to go up to 121K. But yeah, just interested, where would you put your stop loss? Because we are kind of falling like a knife right now. I don't know if you want to catch a falling knife, to be honest. Oh, you put the stop loss 5% below where we're at. And Porky's saying that Donald Trump sent out a sub that has the capability of launching nukes near Russia, could be adding to the fear today. Yeah, it sounds like just sable rattling. You know, who knows? Who knows? They've been saying World War III has already started, and this is us living in World War III right now. But anything that has to do with nukes would be the end of the world, to be honest with you. So I just think they're just trying to scare Russia straight, because that's the only way you can actually get through with Putin, is to actually talk tough. You know, you can't talk nice to him. You have to actually be a bully, because he's a bully. Ben Frank Getter says you do 10x leverage. Interesting, interesting. All right, let's move on to ZBEC, and then we'll take a look at Litecoin. ZBEC network on Mexi, yeah, because I think I have previous chart work here. So ZBEC network currently trading at we'll just call it 48,106, down 48.9% today. I thought that you know, ZBEC hitting the golden pocket here in that 54,000, 53,000 range. I you know, foresee us, you know, bouncing between, you know, the two fib levels here between 0.5 and a 0.618. Looks like we're now coming down to test that 0.5 level here at 47,659. Did we actually come down to that level here? Looks like we came a little bit lower than that. We actually came down to 46,700. Okay. For the lows here on that candle wick here. So yeah, I think 0.5 is gonna have to hold for now. But I don't know why it would actually hold at that level, because there's really no moving average support that I see. Most of your moving averages are right below you. You got the 21 EMA, could act as support at 39,470. Now there might be another trader out there using a different EMA, maybe like the 9 EMA. I don't want to put a whole crap ton of moving averages right now, but I know like the 21 EMA usually follows the price action for the most part. And that 21 EMA is sitting at 39,467, so we might actually have to come down to that level, 39,647, which I think, I mean, if we came down right now, that would be with the 21 EMAs right now, but I think as time goes by, maybe in the next day or two, it's probably going to end up coming down to this 0.382 retracement. This white line is going to try to catch up to the price. If it does continue to go down, you might get support off the 21 EMA when the 21 EMA hits 41,000. So I think 41,000 is your magic number to be looking for here on ZBEC, at least on the daily time frame here. That's what I would be eyeballing if this thing continues dropping here from where we are right now. Going forward, if we actually do start catching some bids here and go to higher prices, I think we'll have to retest the golden pocket and actually try to turn this into support before moving up to the 0.786 level at 61,578. But we'll take it one level at a time. Right now, I think you're threatening to go down to 41,000 here on ZBEC. If you're not going to go down there, then we would like to see us get back up to the golden pocket at 53,000 for ZBEC. Okay. I think that's downside, upside targets for ZBEC for now. Got some questions here in the chat. Ben Frank thinks we're gonna pump up after the United States is done dumping on us. Maybe. there is a lot of money in the United States, and once they're done selling, maybe we could actually get a little bit of a relief rally later on tonight. But we also need something positive, maybe like a trade deal or a hint of a trade deal. At least that's the way 2025 has been going. Let's see. D Bam Bang is saying, you don't own any. Should you buy Bitcoin now? Bitcoin is having a red day. We're down 2%. We could see Bitcoin continue going down to 110K, which would be a better buy. Or maybe 108K, which I talked about earlier in the live stream, at the beginning of this live stream. But it never hurts to buy, you know, when you're having a bad day. When an asset has a red candle on the daily time frame, like if you wanted to get in ZBEC right now, I would say sure. If you don't have any exposure, yeah, you could try buying. It's better than buying when the thing is already up. So, should you buy now? I will never give you financial advice, but I would say, in my opinion, today's a good day to buy something. Whether it's a crypto or a stock, because the stock market is also taking a hit too. Khalid wants me to look at AGT, and you want to know if you should short it. Okay, we'll take a look at AGT. I think I'm going to put that in front of XRP. We're going to hold off on XRP, because I don't want to have to keep talking about XRP all day long, because someone missed it. Let's see. George Lee said, you just placed a buy on Bitcoin, and you're going to buy more on the daily close, depending upon what's my analysis. My analysis on Bitcoin. All right, so we'll talk. Since we're talking about Bitcoin again, why don't we go look at it? Okay. Quickly, I think Bitcoin could come down to 110K, 110.7K here. I had another person here saying 111K. So like in that area between 110.7 and 111, this could act as a support zone for Bitcoin based off Fibonacci. I also think this is kind of like the top. Yeah, we had the top here on May 22nd. On Bitcoin, where we got up. Oh wait, no, I take that back. No, this would actually be right over here. We got as high. So May 21st, we got as high as 110.7K. But yeah, I'm not sure if 110.7. Let's see. All right, I take that back. 110.7K. I don't really see that much support in that area. It's just a fib level. However, 107.7K. This 0.382 level could act as a really good support zone. I'd be more interested in buying Bitcoin at this area, because that's also where the 50-day moving average is sitting at. So we're looking for this area. I should probably highlight this on the chart here. Can I do? Let's see. I want to make like my purple buy zone here. Where is this? I'm trying to figure out where my buy zone area is. All right, yeah, here we go. The rectangle. I want the rectangle. 110, 107K, somewhere in this area. That's your buy zone. Okay. I think that's where you're gonna get support on Bitcoin. Somewhere in this area. Yep, right there. Okay. So we're not there yet. You could see Bitcoin maybe continue dumping later on today, maybe going into tomorrow, but this would be a better buy zone in my opinion. But if you don't have any Bitcoin, like I noticed someone said that they don't have any Bitcoin, doesn't hurt to buy right now. Just have a little bit of skin in the game, because if this is a fake out and we get some good news about trade deals or something like that, this could end up being a fake out or a bear trap, and then boom, we're back in the bull flag again, and we're trying to go to higher prices on Bitcoin. So if you don't have Bitcoin, you don't want to miss out on, you know, any potential good news that could flip the markets bullish again. All right, yeah. So we did talk about ZBEC. We're gonna talk about Litecoin next, and then we'll look at AGT. And Undercover Titan wants to ask about should we buy XRP? We're gonna look at XRP. Let me get into the requests here. So let's take a look at the Litecoin. Litecoin currently trading at $106. Not really having a... Oh, wow. Okay, now it's actually up for the day. So while everybody else is dumping, Litecoin is trying its hardest and darndest to actually catch some bids here. And look at this on the daily chart. This is a very interesting candle. You have kind of like a very small doji. The candle wick is more to the downside than there is one to the upside here. So are buyers trying to defend Litecoin at this area? I'm trying to see what sticks out in the charts here to make me think that this should be an area that gets defended here. Maybe we hit a fib level. Okay. Now that I look at some previous price chart action here, we are retesting the highs that we had here on Litecoin back in May. On May 10th, we got as high as $107. May 14th, we got as high as like $105.88. So these are like the high. This is like a high watermark here back in May. That could be one of the reasons why we decided to cast some bids here on Litecoin. Let me see if there's another reason for that being the case here. Let's go ahead and we'll do a quick Fibonacci. Oh, okay, yep. So we are in the golden pocket level for Litecoin right now. So this golden pocket is a normal level that most assets end up pulling back to, okay? If the asset was extremely bullish, we would only get maybe like a shallow pullback to the 0.786 retracement. But on a normal correction, which is I think what we're getting with Litecoin, we're actually down to the 618. We came down as low as $103 earlier today. So that is confluent with this 618 retracement at $104.75. So that's why Litecoin might be catching a little bit of a bid right now. Okay. But if this doesn't hold, then we could see Litecoin go a little bit lower, down to probably the 200-day moving average sitting at $98, and that's confluent with the 0.5 retracement at $99. So we might see $98, $99 on Litecoin, and that might be where we actually get support and get a bounce and basically create a higher low and try to go to higher prices here. Now, if Litecoin decides to cast some bids here, you know, later on, maybe in 2025, we might see Litecoin at the 1272 at $134.88. That's confluent with some of the tops here back in January, earlier this year. And then we do have a 1618 saying we could see $150 Litecoin. Maybe that happens towards the end of 2025 here. But those are your upside targets if Litecoin is going to go to higher prices. And I'm just zooming out just to see what Litecoin has done in the past. I think Litecoin has been to higher prices, and it has. Back in like 2021, we saw Litecoin at 251 bucks, 260 bucks. Even higher than that at 389 back in May of 2021. So I don't know if Litecoin is going to do that again. We have to take into account there's now token inflation. We have more Litecoin out in circulation supply all around the world than we did back in 2021. So it's going to be tougher to get to those prices. But Litecoin has been to higher prices, so we'll see if we can do it again. Oh, okay, yeah, I do have a Meet Damien Discord. Let's see if I can pull up the Meet Damien Discord. The link to the Discord, Dylan, is in my description for the YouTube video, but I'll just quickly pull this up. So yeah, I do have a Meet Damien Discord where I post up when I'm going to go live. For my TikTok guys, you can follow me, and then you can also click the I'm sorry, just send me a message saying, Damien, can you send me the link for the Discord? But that's the link right there that I can send to you guys when you want to come join the Meet Damien Discord here. And I think I posted up some funny memes here. That's this is Jerome Powell right now on today, just screwing over everybody with his interest rate decisions. And then this is another meme that I had. You know, normally, you know, either we get a high inflation or we get recession, but it seems like the Fed finds a way, you know, no matter what, whether we get high inflation then recession or recession then high inflation, it seems like we get both the way they run things over at the Fed. But yeah, that's my little joke there. Alright, let's see. Someone wants to know about the news. Am I Jamaican? No, I am not Jamaican. I am Italian and Cape Verdean. For those who know what Cape Verdean is. And Leo requested Dogecoin. Okay, we'll take a look at Doge. I think I finished up my analysis here on Litecoin. Litecoin's at the golden pocket, but it could come down to $99. Then we also have upside targets of about $134 and $150, maybe later on in 2025. All right, let's look at AGT. Stock options. You're saying I'm using the fib wrong? How so? I know some people do fibs going the other way, right? But I do the fib that way because I want the extensions to be to the upside. So if I'm going long on an asset, I can see the 1272 and the 1618 fib extension level. If I am shorting an asset, I do the fib going the other way. So that way the extensions go to the downside, so I can figure out how far an asset could possibly go when I'm shorting it. But yeah, let's look at AGT. AGT currently trading at AGT trading at 0.0066 cents here, and it's up 30% today. Wow, okay. Catching some bids. So this just goes to show that even on a red day, there's some assets here that can actually do the opposite and catch some bids here. But looks like I'm looking at AGT that's trading on Binance Exchange. Looks like this thing started trading back in May, so there's not that much data. We do have a 21 EMA, so that is the only moving average that I can use on the daily time frame to give us some ideas like where support and resistance might be, just using moving averages. But as I start to zoom in on AGT here, was this a double bottom? Okay, let's see how low did we get. We got as low as 0.044 here, and we'll just say 44.22, 44.31, 44.50. So it's almost like a triple bottom. So like, let me go over and put a horizontal line here. Obviously, don't go lower than that. Okay, don't go lower than 44.70. Yeah, you could put a stop loss right below that at 4,400 or 43.50. But this thing looks like it's trying to bottom out here. Let me go ahead and take a look at the RSI, see what the RSI is doing. Because I want to see if there's any bullish divergence. So you are creating higher lows on the RSI. That is good to see. That looks like we had the lowest low recently, July 20th here. So you had lower lows on price, higher lows here on the RSI. I think you can qualify that as bullish divergence, right? If you feel like I'm wrong, let me know. But I think we can count this as bullish divergence. Actually, I think I want to draw like that from there to there. I'm just doing this way too quick. Ah, what the? I messed it up. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So yeah, if these lines were to extend themselves, they would actually meet and converge on each other. So you got your divergence, your bullish divergence. This is the beginning of bottoming out here. It just means that buyers are stepping up. They like the prices. I'm assuming at like 4,400, 4,500, and now you're catching some bids here. However, look how high we went. We only went up as high as this 21 EMA, this white line, sitting at 5,800. We came up a little bit higher than that. Actually, we're trading at 6,000. So, would be nice to see if this 21 EMA could act as support going forward. If we could just bullishly consolidate, maybe create a bull flag here, or just keep on, aping up to higher prices here. You're doing quite fine and creating a bottom here, in my opinion, on AGT. Obviously, don't go lower than 4,400. and I think you'll be alright. And I just want to add here to the VRVP. Let's see what the VRVP has to say, if there's any high volume nodes to the upside. I got the VRVP, this green and red indicator off on the right. Most of the price action recently is kind of like right over here. You got the value area, you get the value area low, value area high, and you got the blue line, that point of control. Point of control is now currently like where we're at right now at 5,900, 6,000. Get past that and then get past this value area high at 6,500. And it could be off to the races. You could climb up just as fast as you went down here on AGT. I really don't see that much on the VRVP here for nodes besides maybe 9,500. Could be a take profit target. And then you got some more between 12,000 and 15,000. Could be, you know, another take profit target. So let me just put those lines there. I see take profit right here. And then I also see take profit basically like a sell zone. I guess I could just do a rectangle here, but anywhere between here and here, make that a sell zone. Okay, and I think I can even change the color on this too. We'll just make this red. Sell it when it gets there. Okay, not financial advice, but that's how I would play this asset if I was getting involved in it. So that's AGT. Now we'll move on to XRP. I know we got some people asking about XRP. So I think now's the time to talk about XRP. Let's see how XRP is doing today. And BC Port Corp says you can pull fibs in any direction. See, BC Port Corp, he gets it. You can do Fibonacci either way. It all depends, in my opinion. It depends on where you want your extensions to be. Okay, on the long side, like right here, I'm looking at XRP, and I just pulled a fib from $3.66 all the way down to $1.90. And when I do that, it gives you my extensions up to the upside. I still think at some point we might see XRP go to the 1272 at $4.13, and then a 1618 at $4.74. Currently, right now, XRP is trading at $3.01. I think $3 is going to be a battle zone for XRP. The XRP army is doing its best to try to keep XRP above $3, but we have threatened to go lower. We did go lower than that. We went to 289. I believe we did that last night on XRP. Let me go ahead and get rid of VRVP. I don't really need that right now. But if XRP is not able to hold $3, okay, psychological target and also a 618 fib extension here, fib retracement. I mean, we could go down. Maybe we have to go down to the 200-day moving average at $2.45, which is where that red line is sitting at, my 200-day moving average. I think by the time we drop down, and if this thing could slowly start climbing up, I think 0.382 retracement is where you want to be eyeballing your buy zone for XRP. All right, that's that 0.382 is at $2.57 for XRP. That might be an area where XRP gets some support. Let's just look at, you know, we're zooming out back to previous price action, and you'll see that 257 is confluent with the top and the highs that we had here back in May of 2025. And it's also where we have some topping action here back in March. You know, 257, 265, somewhere in that area. That's going to be your buy zone for XRP if XRP loses $3. Just my opinion, just the way I look at the charts here. Appreciate you hitting that follow button, sure can. We do technical analysis on this channel. We talk about stocks and crypto. A lot of people like talking about crypto these days, so that's why we always be talking about crypto. But if you have a stock you want me to look at, I can do that as well. But yeah, definitely appreciate the follow button. If you guys like my analysis here and you want to see more of it, then yeah, definitely gotta catch me on the live streams here and hit that follow button. And if you want me to, I can follow you guys back too. Just let me know. All right. So that's XRP on the downside, and I actually gave the upside target, but if XRP actually cashes bids and we can respect the 618 golden pocket level here, the next upside target on XRP is $3.28, and then we'll see if we can get back to 366 like we did in July. And ultimately, I think maybe later on in August we might see $4 XRP. Okay, where you get the 1272 fib extension level there, but we need to start catching some bids, and we need some good catalysts. We need the Federal Reserve to start considering lower interest rates, especially after a not so good jobs report. But we'll see. And we're actually getting some clarity on the trade deals too. I think they should consider lowering the interest rates and helping out the markets and helping out the economy. But we'll see what they decide to do. They're probably going to do the worst thing or the wrong thing before they actually do the right thing. All right, let's see. So we got to talk about Dogecoin. Gucci says Bitcoin is crashing. Yup, that's why I titled the video DUMPSTREAM. We're having a Bitcoin DUMPSTREAM right now. What is Bitcoin doing right now? Because when we started, it was like 113,300. Bitcoin is at 113,400. And I got a buy zone. If Bitcoin continues going lower, I think $107,800 to $110,800 is going to be basically your buy zone for Bitcoin if it gets that cheap. All right. You saying that you can't see my screen? Let me see. I can zoom out a little bit here. But if you can't see the screen, can you clarify? Because like sometimes I try to zoom in so you can actually see the numbers here. But when I zoom out on TikTok, the numbers become fuzzy. Okay. But I'll try to stay zoom out, and the focus is just not that good when I zoom out. All right, let's move on to Dogecoin. Alright, we got Dogecoin currently trading at 20 cents. Down 1.5% today. And wow, you got all these red candles. Dogecoin's been having a bad couple of weeks actually. We topped out here at 28 cents July 21st, and that's about it. You know, we viciously had a red bearish engulfing candle here that took us down to lower prices, and then created almost like a bear flag, and then down again for a retest of the 200-day moving average. 200-day moving average is sitting at 21 cents right now, but now you're below that. So now what do? If Dogecoin can't even hold the 200-day moving average, you might have to come back down to the 50-day or even the 100-day. I highlight the 50-day moving average as this green line. The 100-day, I use a blue color here for the 100-day. I think those three averages are very important, as well as the 21 EMA. So I guess these four moving averages is what I use for the most part when I do my analysis here. And I know some people don't use the 100-day moving average, but I noticed it like assets will actually get bounces off the level. Like look right here. Like we had a 100-day moving average sitting right here. The candle wick came right down, and then boom, we got up. We actually wicked right down to the 100-day moving average. So I still think 100-day moving average is still useful to have on your charts. But anyways, could we end up coming back down to the 100-day moving average on Dogecoin? Maybe. Right now it's sitting at about 18.188 cents here is where the 100-day is sitting at. That could act as support. Then we got the 50-day sitting at 0.197. Now, what I like to do is I like to draw out the fibs, right? And I like to see if the moving averages are confluent with the fib. Okay. And right now, this 50-day moving average is sitting right near the 0.382 retracement. So the 0.382 retracement might be where Dogecoin ends up going next. If we're going to continue having a bad few days here, I think you could buy Dogecoin at 0.198 pennies or 20 pennies. We're already at 20 pennies, but we could come down to that 0.198 level. And then looking further down here, the 100-day sitting at 0.188, not really confluent with any of the fib levels here. But we do have a fib level below it at 0.177 pennies. So maybe that's where the bleeding stops for Dogecoin on the downside. Yeah. I think going forward, those are your downside targets. Now, upside targets is anything above us is great, right? But I think we could see us go back to the golden pocket level, retest that as a normal pullback from going down to the lows here. And I think 0.618, 23 cents could be another, could be where we go to the upside in the short term. Then we'll see how it handles itself at 25 cents where the 786 retracement's at. And then we got to see if we can we get back above the high here on July, 28 cents. I think those are your upside targets for now. Anywhere between 23 cents and 28 cents could be your upside targets for Dogecoin in the next, I would say, next few weeks here. But Dogecoin was making progress here. It was nice to see that we got above the highs here back in May. So it's still steady progress, but yeah, I mean, once you get above the 200-day moving average, this red line, you kind of have to retest it, which we did, but now we're going below it, so that's not so great. But it's going to be a battle for Dogecoin in between where we are right now up until 28 cents, until we can actually make another higher high. It's going to be a battle for this crypto, I think, for the month of August. All right, let's see what we're saying here on YouTube chat. Let's see. Dylan's in the chat. I see you, Dylan. BC Port Corp thinks we should buy Amazon because it's down 9%. Interesting. I'm just reading the chat here. BC Port Corp says, appreciate that, Dylan. Been having a lot of free time with all the crap weather, so been doing more streaming. Yep, I know what that feels like. I'm over here on vacation in Martha's Vineyard right now, and also doing a live stream for you guys. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow being a decent beach day. I'd like to go to the beach tomorrow. But yeah, today is like a live stream. I actually went, believe it or not, I went to the gym on my on my vacation here. So I went to the gym earlier today, and gonna go out and get something to eat and just stay in town for a little bit. So let's see. I'm just continuing to read the chat here. BC Port Corp says, where should I reach out for stream ideas? Discord, X, or the comments section? Dylan says, okay, reach out to you on Discord. And BC battling jobs versus inflation. Screw the jobs. Inflation is harder to correct. Okay, that's a pretty tough sentiment there. It seems like your sentiment is in line with the Federal Reserve, because the Federal Reserve is more worried about inflation than they are about losing jobs and losing the economy. The problem with losing jobs, though, they're also hard to get back. Okay, it's hard to get those jobs back once you lose them. BC Port Corp thinks I should use trend-based fib extension to find the price discovery. Yeah, I played around with trend-based fib extensions. I probably should play around with it some more. But it's just so easy to just pull fibs the way I normally do it. I noticed Porky does the same way. He just go right to that fib indicator. But yeah, trend-based fib probably would work if you see the trend. Wow, you say you use up to the 900 simple moving average? That's interesting. And then you want a request for SMR. Okay. I got you. And then let me see. I got to catch up on the chat here with TikTok, too. We have a request for Brett. Okay, we'll take a look at the Brett. At some point, I do have to go get some dinner, guys. But I will try to get to these requests here. And let me see. Do I have any other requests here? Oh, fart coin. How could I miss that one? All right, so we'll do fart coin before we do Brett, because I think that came in first. I actually like this song. I'll turn it up a little bit here on my end. And I think that's it for now. Yep. Oh, Ronnie, you like the fact that I'm Cape Verdean? Yeah, Cape Verdean is a mix of African and Portuguese. So I'm like African, Portuguese, and Italian. And I'm the best part of Italian. I'm Sicilian. Don't mess. If you know, you know. Alright. And is that a request for Solana? Mario, are you requesting Solana? We can take a look at Solana. Well, let me get into it. We'll look at SMR. And I actually wanted to do some shoutouts. After I look at Brett and Solana, I'm gonna do some more shoutouts here. Because I got some people that are helping me out, and I gotta help them out as well. Okay. Let's look at SMR. So this is New Scale Power Corporation. Is that what we're looking at here? Port Corp. Is that the stock you want me to look at? New Scale Power Corp. All right, I got you. So we're looking at New Scale, currently trading at $44.43. It's actually up after market hours here. The market closed 15 minutes ago, but it's up a little bit, up 18 cents. But wow, okay, this thing actually went down 11% today. Jeez. So when I look at a new asset for the very first time, I have to like zoom out. I'm just trying to find what it has done in the past and gives me ideas like where it could go next. And this thing, you know, started trading, it looks like, on the New York Stock Exchange back in December of 2020. When this thing was trading at like $10 in that area. But this thing is a bullish asset in my opinion. And I'll give you my reasons why my bias is going to be bullish before I start digging deep into this. You're above the 200-day moving average. The red line is the 200-day moving average that I use. Anytime you're above the red line, the 200-day moving average, I have to be, my bias is going to be bullish before I start saying anything negative about it. Okay, so you're clearly above that. You're also above all the moving averages here. Well, except for the 21 EMA, but you're above the 100 and the 50-day moving average, so that's good to see, but it seems like there's a big gap here. Like, this thing has already done a huge run-up. Looks like that run-up started back here in May. Like May 14th, 15th, or something around that area. And that leads me to believe that this thing might be a little bit overheated and overbought, so if that's the case, that doesn't surprise me that we actually had a drop down here. Looks like we had an earnings report. Let's see, I'm going to click the E. And you had an earnings report on, or you're about to have an earnings report August 7th. And that's going to be for this, I believe, the second quarter. They're estimating their earnings to be about, they're expected to lose 11 cents per share. And the revenue is coming in on $11 million of revenue. So that's interesting. So there might be another big day ahead here on August 7th. Mark that on your calendar for this asset here. But yeah, this thing already had a big run up. I'm expecting the RSI to be overbought or overheated or close to it. Okay. So RSI is not overbought right now. It's at 50.99. Okay, on the daily time frame here. But here's what I see. Just looking at the technicals here. You obviously have higher highs, right? on the price. However, you have lower highs on your RSI. Does anybody here know what that is? Let's see how, I believe Porky knows what that is. I know he for damn sure knows what this is, but this is a divergence, right? But is it bullish or bearish divergence? I just want to see if anybody pays attention. Let's see how educated you guys are on the technical analysis. John 316's in the chat. I see you. You're asking, is it over, and asking about bull market. Yep, and don't forget to the like button, guys, if you haven't already. I'm just waiting to see if someone knows what kind of divergence that is. I just want to see how educated my viewers are about technical analysis here. So I haven't seen the answer yet, and I know some of my guys probably know the answer, but they don't want to say it because they want to see if someone else is gonna come up with the answer, because I know Pork Corp probably knows what kind of divergence that is, and I know Porky does. But anyways, the divergence here is it's a bearish divergence. Okay, you got prices are going higher, but you got the RSI going lower. Okay, you got bearish divergence, and this means that, you know, in a bearish divergence, especially on a daily time frame, the price can still continue going up in the bearish divergence, but it means that buyers are getting exhausted, and it's less likely that you're going to go higher. It's more likely that you will eventually start going sideways, or maybe even dropping down in price, and that's what we got going on here with New Scale Power Corp. Okay, so I would expect this to play out. I wouldn't be overly bullish on this asset, because I still think there's some room to the downside if it does want to go to the downside here. Looks like you have your last higher low on the daily time frame here at $33.63. I would like to see that level hold. If not, then you're not making higher lows anymore, right? This could have possibly been the top for now on this asset. And because you're above the moving averages significantly here, you don't really have that much support, but the support should be in the $33, $35 area, because that's where your last higher low. Anybody that bought here, they're still in profit, right? They're not going to sell on you until they lose their profit and they're actually at a loss. Okay, so this should be a support zone, in my opinion, between 33 and 35 bucks. Let me go ahead and get rid of those oscillators now. I want to turn the VRVP. I figured we should get some good information from the VRVP. Looking at the VRVP indicator, this green and red indicator off on the right. These are your buys and sells at different price levels. Okay, and I do see a high volume node here at like $39. Okay, $39 could act as a support zone, but even bigger than that is this value area high sitting at 36 bucks. Like I said, I think 36 bucks, 35 bucks is a good buy zone for this asset if it does get down to that level. The VRVP indicator agrees that this is a significant zone to be looking out for. But if we're not able to hold that, then yeah, we're going to end up coming down. We'll probably come down to moving averages. Your moving averages are sitting at $28 and $24 and $25 on the 50, 100, and 200. Let's see. No, I am still here. To talk. Okay. But yeah, if we lose that $35, $36 level here, we could drop down to the moving averages. Just keep that in mind. Okay, keep that in mind. We need these moving averages to kind of catch up to where price is. But yeah, this doesn't surprise me that we're getting the bearish divergence, and we need to kind of like chill out for a little bit here. We'll see what the earnings report is going to be like on August 7th here for this asset. That'll probably give us a bigger tell as to whether we deserve to be at these high prices or if we got to go back down to lower prices here. I didn't really do a Fibonacci here. Do you want me to do a Fibonacci, Pork Corp? Yeah, it is bearish divergence. Yep, you are right. That's what we're looking at here. Let me quickly do a fib, see if there's any more confluence here. using the Fibonacci. Your golden pocket level is sitting at 37 bucks. So I think, yeah, 36, 37, this is an area that we could come back down to, and we should get some strong support in this level here. Okay, but to the upside, if we are going to be bullish on this asset and go to higher prices, you got a 1272 that says this thing could get up to like 65 bucks. Maybe that happens later on in 2025. Maybe that happens after the good earnings report, if they do get a good earnings report. And then we got a 1618 saying this thing could also get up to like $79, and maybe that happens in 2026. I don't know. I don't know if this thing can actually get up that high between now and the end of this year, because that's almost like a double from where you are right now. And usually stocks don't really double unless you're a technology stock. But what does the stock do? If I go scroll down here on TradingView, usually with stocks, it'll tell you like what the company does. It gives you like a little short description, and it says NuScale Power Corp provides proprietary and innovative advanced small modular reactor nuclear technology. So they're in the nuclear electricity business. So because they actually work on creating their own technology, and maybe this thing could run up to like 80 bucks by the end of this year. They just got to keep on generating more money, more revenue, and more earnings, and they could get up there. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at the fibs here. I just think you're gonna probably come down to the 618 on the fibs here, Port Corp, and that's sitting at 37 bucks. And then you could get some more confluence here at the 200-day. I'm sorry, actually not the 200-day. Looks like the 50-day could possibly act as support. 50-day sitting at 28 bucks, and the 0.382 is roughly about 28 bucks as well. So that's another level to be looking out for on this asset. Okay. All right, we'll move on back to crypto. We'll look at Fartcoin, and then we'll look at Brett. All right, Fartcoin is what is it doing here? Well, right now it's trading at 98 cents. Slightly up today. Trying to zoom out here a little bit. I have previous analysis here with the Fibonacci. Looks like we saw Fartcoin get up to like $1.69 on July 23rd, last Wednesday, last week. And we thought we were able to hold the 786 retracement at $1.34, but we lost that level. Now we're coming down to the golden pocket. We lost that level, and now literally today we're going down probably to the 0.5 retracement at 92 cents. Have we gone down that low already? We came down to 94 cents, so I think 92, 93 cents is still in play here. Oh, yeah, I just moved my thing. I gotta lock this thing up. Lock it, thank you. All right. But we're kind of getting bounced between the 200-day moving average sitting at 92 cents and the 100-day moving average sitting at 98 cents, which is kind of like where we're trading at right now on Fartcoin. I think the moving average traders are paying attention to that. If I just was to hide this here for a second, let me just go ahead and see if I can hide it. Yeah. Do you see like the 200-day and the 100-day? That's probably a level where the moving average traders are going to be bouncing this thing. You know, between the 200-day and the 100-day is where we could get some consolidation in this area. So I think Fartcoin is ready to consolidate at these levels. And let me go back and turn on my fib again. But yeah, ultimately, I think the confluence between the 200-day and the 0.5 retracement is where we will probably kind of chill out and get some support. for Farcoin, it would be very devastating for us to go below the 200-day moving average. I think if you lose this level, it's game over, and you're going right down to lower prices here on Farcoin. How much lower? Well, we got some candlewick lows here at like 79 cents. Maybe the 0.382 retracement could act as support at 75 cents. But I think Farcoin's in dire straits if it loses that 200-day moving average. That's very easy to remember. Don't lose 92 cents, and I think it'll be all right. And then you got to see if we can recapture this golden pocket at $1.09, $1.14, and this golden pocket level here. And then moving forward, you know, can we get back up to the 786 at $1.34? Okay, we shall see. We shall see. But I just view this as buying opportunities. 92 cents, anywhere between 92 cents and where you're at right now, could be a buying opportunity. And then you can just put your stop loss at like 90 cents or 88 cents. And if we lose those levels, then you're going to be avoiding losing more money on Farcoin for sure. But yeah, this is a very important area. Hold above 92 cents, your 200-day moving average. All right, moving on from there to Brett, and then we'll take a look at the Solana after that. Corey Davies is asking me about Loca and XRP. We already looked at XRP. XRP needs to hold above $3 in my opinion. If not, we could come down to $2.60, somewhere in that area. New Star's asking me how short can Bitcoin go? You mean how low can Bitcoin go? We talked about Bitcoin earlier in the live stream. I think Bitcoin could go down to about 108K to like 110.7K. Looking at the Fibonacci numbers, and I'll just quickly pull it up one more time for Bitcoin. But yeah, this is the purple buy zone that I have for Bitcoin. 107.7K to 110.7K. This should be a good area to buy Bitcoin. If you don't have Bitcoin right now and you don't want to miss out on, you know, participating in a rally for Bitcoin, then I would say yeah, you can buy Bitcoin right now. We already hit the 618 retracement already. But I wouldn't go too crazy because, you know, we can go a little bit further down on the price here for Bitcoin, and you might be able to get a cheaper Bitcoin at 107, 110. All right, let's move on to Brett. Brett is currently trading at 0.05 cents, 5 cents roughly, down 3.6%. And what do we have for Brett? Let me just zoom out here a little bit here. Finally getting some moving averages showing up here. Brett has seen higher prices back in May, where we saw this thing as high as like 9 cents roughly. Yeah, about 9 cents. And this is very disconcerting because you didn't really make a higher high. I want to see Brett get above the highs that it made here in May. And we didn't really quite do that. We only went to like 6 or 7 cents here on Brett for like the month of July here. So now you're kind of creating almost like another lower high. And does this thing need to go down to lower prices? Or does it want to go down to low prices? You're barely holding on to dear life here with the 280 movement average. 280 movement average is at 0.052 pennies. You're actually below it right now. So that's no bueno, in my opinion. Let's get above it. Let's try to actually use this as support. But we actually came above the 280 movement average, only for us to then get knocked down to lower prices. And we're just hanging out near the 280 movement average, using it as like a slide as we slide down to lower prices here. We do have a 100-day, this blue line that could act as support at 0.048 pennies, but if you lose that, then I think you're coming right down to where price was trading at in the beginning of July and late June when we saw like 4-cent Brett. Brett could easily come down to 4 cents again. I want to turn on the VRVP right now, see what the VRVP has to say. And I'm not really using too much data. This is data going all the way back to like the middle of May here. But you got a point of control. This blue line is sitting at like 0.043 pennies. High volume node. If we lose the levels that we're at right now, we're going to go right down to 4 pennies in no time here on Brett. Because you got a big gap in the VRVP between 4 pennies and 5 pennies. But 4 pennies could act as support. And then you got some more support possibly here at a little bit below 4 pennies at 0.038 pennies. But geez, if you lose that, no bueno, in my opinion. But yeah, if you start losing the levels here at 4 pennies, then you got the value area low sitting at roughly 0.029 pennies, or you can just call it 3 cents. That might be another support area for a Brett, but I don't like the trend. I don't like the downtrend that you're in with Brett. Let me just zoom out here a little bit more. I mean, yeah, you kind of did break out of the downtrend, but looks like if we get bearish again, we could retest this downtrend somewhere in 3 penny level area. I guess you could draw another trend here, marking this high to this other lower high. I guess, you know, show me that you can get up to like 6 cents again, and I can be bullish on this asset. But hanging out near 5 cents and going lower is just, it's not going to cut the mustard. All right, okay. Let's move on to Solana now, and then I think we'll finish up with Bitcoin. Oh, that's right. Corey did ask about Loca, though. I guess we'll look at Loca after Solana. And then we'll look at Bitcoin. But I think that's going to be it for now. Because I do need to go out and get some dinner here. Gotta get like an early dinner here. Let's see. Solana. What are you doing here, Solana? You're currently trading at $163.22. You're down 5% today. Solana is actually one of my biggest spot bags here, so this is very disconcerting for me to see. I was hoping that we could see Solana maintain this 0.32 retracement at 172 bucks. I measured from $96, which is the low back here in April, up to the high here that we had in January when we got to 295. And I still think this is useful Fibonacci analysis here. But this is worrying me. Losing the 172 level means we could possibly revisit the 0.236 retracement at $143 Solana all over again. Now that's like, you know, down 20 bucks here, but still not a fun thing to see. You know, and Solana was creating some progress here. We made highs here in July. We never seen $200 Solana until July. Like, you know, we saw $200 Solana in July, but we haven't seen that level since like back here in January and February. So Solana was doing what it was needing to do to get people excited again about it, but this is very disconcerting here. Making these making a run to the downside here. And, you know, you could say that we kind of lost this little uptrend that we had here on Solana already. We lost that uptrend, so I don't know if I need to leave that there, but it's clearly that we lost that uptrend. Now I kind of want to turn on the VRVP, see what Solana could do here, and I also want to turn the moving averages as well. We do have some moving averages that could provide support for Solana to the downside. We're currently testing it right now. We're testing the 200-day at $162.56. If we lose that, then we're gonna forget the 50-day. 50-day is pretty much at the same level, but the 100-day could provide support at $150.37. It's currently where this 100-day is sitting at. Kind of confluent with the 0.236 retracement. Kind of almost like a psychological level for some people to like say, hey, you know, $150 Solana, I could buy that, and then when it goes back to 300 bucks, I'll double my money. So maybe there might be some interest in Solana at 150 bucks. But as I start to zoom out, I'm going to go ahead and turn on that VRVP indicator now. And we'll see what the VRVP has to say here. Let me just hide this for now. Always draw it again later, I guess. But VRVP is showing that the POC on Solana is sitting at $145. So there you go. The VRVP and the Fibonacci was saying like $143 and $145 is good zone for Solana to get some support at if it does actually head down to that level. But yeah, you got a nice gap in the VRVP. Once you lose 166 bucks on Solana, you don't get that much more support until 150. And then you get more support at 143, 145 bucks. So we're getting close to getting some support here on Solana, but yikes. Yikes, 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 right? Those are the downside targets on Solana. We still have upside targets if Solana does catch some bids here. Once you get past like 180 bucks, you can easily go up to 189 and then the $200 level, like we saw, you know, earlier this month, or I should say earlier in July. And then you get the value area high sitting at about $209 is for some reason a level where we could get resistance on Solana. I mean, we didn't even get up to $209 in July, but if we were, you know, bullish and we can get past 209, then you still have a big gap here that says that Solana could get up to like 238, 239, and there's not that much resistance going up to those levels there. So I think those are your upside targets for Solana later on in 2025 here. All right, moving on from Solana to Aloka. League of Kingdoms. I don't think I ever looked at this asset before. And let me just clean this up a little bit. What the hell is this? This thing started trading back in 2022? August of 2022, so it's on its like 3-year anniversary here. Or at least trading on Coinbase exchange here. And this asset has been going down and to the right, down and to the right, down and to the right. Great way to lose money, in my opinion, is to, or if you want to make money, maybe you can try short selling this thing if you can. However, out of nowhere, what the hell is this all about? We got a big giant green candle here, up 367% on July 30th. 2 days ago, this thing just decided to catch the bid. What bit of news came out about this thing? Can you please tell me about Aloka and why it's doing that? Looks like I have someone here in the chat requesting Tesla and XRP. We already looked at XRP, but I'll look at Tesla for you. Appreciate that request. And then I'm going to move back to looking at, maybe I'll look at XRP one more time. All right. Aloka. Obviously had a big impulse candle here. Quite some bids. This looks like a scam to me. How the hell did you go up this high? You went as high as like $1.33 when you started the day off at 9 cents. Okay. I'm not sure what to make of that. Other than that, this looks like a scam wick to me. Okay, but let's see how you're looking at the oscillators. Are you overbought? Yeah, you were 2 days ago when you went up to like, you know, $1.33 out of nowhere. But right now you're just hovering, teetering with being overbought, but you're not. You're at an RSI of like 68. So hopefully this thing is able to just consolidate and chill out at 30 cents before it tries to make a run to higher prices here. But I will give it to you. You are above the 200-day moving average, and you did it in a very convincing fashion here to get above this 200-day moving average. Okay? But, you know, just as fast as you went up, you could possibly come just as down just as fast as you went up. So, you know, 200-day moving average sitting at 10 cents. You could visit 10 cents again. Okay? And you're getting a lot of sell side pressure right now. Look at this. You got a big candle wick to the upside. How come we weren't able to sustain ourselves at 44 cents here, or 40 cents? You're getting almost like a shooting star candle, and a shooting star candle is a reversal candle that sends you down to lower prices here. That is very concerning. Okay, I don't think this has the legs to actually stay at this level. I think we're going to come down to lower prices here on League of Kingdoms here. I think maybe at first you might try to get some support at like 13-14 cents, which is where the 21 EMA is at, but 10 cents is where the 200-day moving average is. We could just, you know, just get a fake out here and come right back down to 10 cents. Maybe somebody accidentally bought a lot of this coin here, thinking it was something else. Maybe maybe this is a pump and dump. Okay, but I would not get involved with this coin, in my opinion. Until you start doing something bullish here, like maybe create a bull flag. There's a possibility you could create a bull flag, but you know, there's a possibility that this could be a pump and dump, like it had in previous, I think, price action candles here. Right? Because look at this, like you pump up, create a double top, came back down. You pumped up here back in January 2023, couldn't sustain it, came right back down. I think the same thing might happen here. I don't know, I could be wrong. If you're involved in this asset, I hope that I am wrong, and I hope you make money, but I wouldn't be surprised if this thing came right back down as fast as it went up. Okay? Hate to be bearish on it, but 300% move in one day is a little bit ridiculous in my opinion. You're gonna give back some of those gains there, in my opinion. Alright, moving on from Loca, we'll take a look at Tesla, and then I guess we'll take a look at XRP one more time, and then that's going to be it for today's stream. Looking at Tesla, currently trading at $302.63, down about 1.83% today. And Tesla creating lower highs, not good. A little bit of a downtrend right there. We've seen some of the highest highs, at least over the past year, back in December. You know, when when Elon Musk and Donald Trump were actually buddies. This thing was trading at $488, but that's no longer the case. They're not buddies, and I think the price of Tesla is suffering because of that. I think Elon Musk needs to watch his mouth when it comes to Donald Trump, because I think Donald Trump can cause more trouble for Elon Musk than Elon Musk can cause trouble for Donald Trump. I think he's gonna have to realize that at some point, and if he doesn't realize that, then I think the price of Tesla stock could suffer because of that, because they can take away their subsidies and make things just harder in general to get credits and whatever they need from the government. But you currently lost the 200-day moving average. 200-day moving average is at $321, that red line there. You know my opinion, anytime an asset, no matter what, whether it's a stock, a crypto, the price of oil or gold, if it's below the 200-day moving average, I have to be bearishly biased towards it. So I'm not going to have too many nice things to say about Tesla when it's below the 200-day moving average. However, you did get some support here on the 50-day moving average. Looks like 50 days sitting at 296. Looks like traders try to respect that for now. They brought it down to 297. So I think there might have been a little bit of front running there. You kind of created a higher low than what you did here back in July 7th. So there's a little bit of this going on too, okay? You got a little bit of an uptrend just using the candle wicks. You kind of got yourself an uptrend here. And this looks like a symmetrical triangle to me. There's three ways to get out of a symmetrical triangle. You can go down and go to lower prices. You could go sideways and just frustrate the hell out of everybody. Or you could possibly go up to the upside on the symmetrical triangle. And if you go up to the upside, I want to see this thing get above $321, get above that 200-day moving average. Start using it as support instead of resistance here. Then I want to see Tesla actually get above the highs here back in June and May. Stop doing this. Stop doing the lower high bull crap here. Okay? And start making higher highs. But let me go ahead and do a Fibonacci going the other way. See what the downside targets could be if Tesla decides to go to lower prices here. And we do have a 1272 to the downside if you're shorting Tesla. Could take it to 245 bucks. Then you got a 1618 that says Tesla could get down to $211. That's a nasty 33% haircut from where you are right now. And have we going down to 211? We went up to we went down as far as 214 bucks. We could revisit the lows for the year if this Fibonacci plays out to the downside on Tesla. But it looks like golden pocket sitting at 305, 308. You're kind of at that right now. Let's see if we can capture this level and then make our way back up to 319, which is just shy of the 200-day moving average. Then get above the 200-day moving average, and then we'll see how it handles itself. And I think there might be some resistance at 345 for Tesla, just based off of this fib level at 0.236. Yep. All right, so that's upside downside targets for Tesla. And Paul Alvaro, we already looked at Loca. Yeah. And Akan, we're at the end of this live stream. I gotta look at XRP, but Akan, thanks for joining the live stream here. I suggest that you join the Meet Damien Discord. Okay, and you can make that request for Zeus coin. And I can look at your asset there on the Meet Damien channel. Now you're on TikTok. Hard for me to send the link for you to join the Discord. I would need you to follow me and then message me and say, "Hey Damien, can you send the link to the free Discord?" And then I'll send you this link here, right? And then you can come join the Discord and ask me about Zeus coin, and then I can do an analysis on it like I have done for someone else here. Let me see, I did an analysis on TRB, and I gave the guy my take profit target after I gave him the analysis there and my little screenshot of what I was looking at. So I suggest you do that because we've already done almost like a 2-hour live stream and I gotta go make some dinner. But we're gonna look at XRP on the way out. And then that's going to be it for the live stream here. Bitcoin currently trading at 113,600. Not really doing much since I've gone live here, but we're now looking at XRP. Currently trading at $2.98. And what have I looked at for XRP? So XRP needs to hold $3. That's the XRP's job right now. XRP Army needs to hold $3, and they're kind of losing that battle right now. If they lose that battle, we might get some support here at the 0.5 retracement at $2.78. Most likely, you'll get even more support at $2.57, which is the 0.382 retracement. It's also a level that we had some rejection and support at that level, so I think 257, 265 in that area is your buy zone for XRP if we lose $3 in a convincing fashion here. Now, on the upside targets, you know, we would like to see XRP regain the 786 retracement at $3.28 and also get back to 366, which was really nice that it did that in July. And if we can continue past that, then we have the 1272 saying that XRP could be $4.13. Maybe that happens next month or sometime in September, maybe. Then we got the 1618 at $4.74, and we have 2618. I think this is your 2025 target for XRP. I think XRP could get to $6.50 later on in 2025. And then, of course, we do have a target. This might be sometime in 2026, but we have a 3618 that says $8.26 XRP is still possible here. Okay, so those are your upside targets and downside targets for XRP. Right now, very important. I'll try to hold where you're at. Let's not go any lower than we are, but I think 257 is your target to the downside on XRP. All right, $8, now you're dead, right? Yeah, it'd be nice to see XRP get up to that level. But guys, that's going to be it for this live stream. Just quickly looking at Bitcoin, we're kind of getting a little bit of recovery on Bitcoin price, or at least we stopped going down for now. We did see Bitcoin get as low as $113,000, almost $113,000 to the button here. Before we started catching some bids, we're trying to hang out near this golden pocket level here on Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin goes to lower prices, I still think 110.7K is your next target. Then 107.7 is where you're going to get more support for Bitcoin, because you also have a 50-day moving average that could provide support at that area. And then to the upside, I still think, yeah, at some point we'll see $130,000 Bitcoin. Might not be this week, but maybe later on in August if we catch some bids here. And then also the 1618 says $138,000 Bitcoin is a possibility, and I think that might happen before you start sending the kids back to school. But maybe I'm just being a little bit too optimistic here. We'll see. That's going to be it for this live stream, guys. Tomorrow I'm going to be busy, and I'm probably not going to be going live, so I'm glad you guys were able to catch the live stream here. But go ahead and check me out on the Meet Damien Discord, where we can stay in touch and we can take a look at the charts on the Discord, and I can send you screenshots of what I'm seeing on the charts here, okay? Such as that one. But yeah, that's going to be it here, guys. Appreciate you coming on to the live stream, and I'll see you when I'm able to do a live stream next. Might have to do it using my iPad here, right? I got because I'm actually gonna be going camping this weekend, but I have you know, an iPad here that I can use to look at the charts here with you guys. I just gonna have to see what I'm gonna do for internet connection, but we'll see. Or I might just have to turn it into like a Q&A live stream and just have to look at the charts using my phone, I guess. But I will be camping this weekend, so it's going to be a little bit hard for me to do live streams, but we'll do our best here, guys. We'll do our best. Take care, guys, and good luck trading and investing and whatever asset you decide to get into. But nice to see that Bitcoin is actually climbing up here a little bit, so maybe this might be a fake out. Take care, guys.